All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Beth Westy, women's health and hormone expert. We are going to dive into some specific things that can be really helpful for the holidays, right? Everything to navigate for your health and some things to keep in mind. Overall, these are just suggestions and ideas. And if you're looking for anything more customized, again, always feel free to reach out to me. I get emails from women literally all over the world every single day where they're asking questions about what do I do about this? Or like, how do I figure this out? Or I heard this. Is this true? Is this accurate? This seems nuts, right? And I love the questions, right? I love getting questions like this. So, first thing that I want to address is a question I get for everybody that stresses them out. How do I navigate my nutrition, staying on track, making sure I'm getting enough protein when I'm not in charge of cooking? Or if I have to cook for my family and they don't have the same goals, right? What about a disrupted eating pattern? What about, I'm the schedule for the day. We're doing this, or we're going to two different places, or it's a whole weekend of festivities. I've got a lot of stuff. How do I stay grounded in my eating, right? What about emotional eating? All of these things, right? You can always approach this with a mindset of thinking about what you're going to feel like at the end of it, right? A lot of times, walk yourself through it, and that can help you a ton. Meaning, think about the events that you have. Say you have something for 2 or 3 days in a row, and you're like, okay, I'm bringing a dish, I'm doing this, there's going to be wine there, I don't want to drink every day, I know I'm not going to feel good. Okay, run through a couple different scenarios. Say you completely overindulge, you drink all the days, you're like, ugh, and then how are you going to feel? Is that what you want? Or you're like, yeah, I don't want to start my week off like that. That kicks off the holiday season. I'm super busy. We've got a lot of family activities. How do I really get around this, right? So make a different plan, right? And think about things that you can do. It's okay if you need to bring your own food. I have done this, right? I've been gluten-free for about 20 years. Yeah, over 20 years. Yeah, long time. So there are plenty of situations where I will bring my own stuff because I'm nervous about cross-contamination, or I don't know that someone else knows how to cook for someone that is gluten-free and has really bad issues if they get exposed to it, right? You can always take your chances with certain stuff. But like, for example, we went through a lot of conversations at my mom's house because she would use the same scoop, use the same utensil to put butter on bread, and then use the same utensil and right back in the butter dish and put butter on peas. Yeah. And it's, she's not even thinking about it because she's never had to, right? So really shifting and changing what I'm doing. I always eat before I go. I always make sure I am on track for my protein goals for the day. That's my job to be in charge of, right? And then I will go through and make sure I've got everything set up for that. I will bring something that I know I can eat and, just do the best I can. And I always make sure I have a conversation beforehand with people, right? That way everybody's aware, or like, hey, I don't mind bringing my own stuff, or I'm okay if I don't, eat the same things that you're eating or whatever. You know what I mean? So with different eating patterns, even if people don't like to eat until late, or you prefer to eat late and they eat early or something, it's okay to have it disrupted a little bit. But if it's really about your health, you shouldn't have to compromise. That's the thing. And again, if it if it offends somebody, you know what I mean? It's you're not doing it because of them. You're doing it for you, right? So there's that. All right, let's talk about desserts. Diving into eating sweets, things like that. This is one of the things that people really get concerned about because they're like, oh my gosh, there's going to be pie, there's going to be treats. I want to have some. Absolutely have some. Here's a few key things going into it. One, make sure you've gotten enough protein days before and that day. And then eating protein and a healthy fat, like a protein ball, a fat bomb, something like that, even small, before you have a piece of pie will help keep your blood sugar really, really even so you're not getting that spike, then crash. The other thing that's really common is that people will have a lot of caffeine throughout the day and have coffee after dinner and all this other stuff. If you're not used to that, I don't suggest that. If that's not part of your normal routine, oh my, can it throw things off, right? It can really throw things off. Same thing with alcohol. If you are going to indulge, which again, it's a celebration, and a lot of times people will use that as a gift or something, great. Just keep in mind, you want to try to, manage what you're intaking, eating foods, all that stuff, and then make sure that you're taking, some magnesium, stuff like that. Minerals can get depleted. Make sure you're hydrating. And then for me, I'm just going to throw this out there. For me, sometimes my stomach will get upset with drinking. So I actually will take some charcoal capsules. One of my favorite things to layer in. Anytime I'm eating something and it's really disruptive to my gut, I take charcoal right before I go to bed. Don't take any other supplements or anything near it because the charcoal will absorb things. So helpful to calm and smooth things out. And I wake up the next morning, I feel better, and my stomach is much happier. So there is that. The last one that I'm going to talk about is kind of keeping your mood regulated when you're overwhelmed and irritated around the holidays. And then when you're setting boundaries with stuff, if you feel guilty, right? One of my favorite things to look at here is making time for activity. Make sure you're getting out. Make sure you're having time away from people, right? Have time that you're with people, have time that you're away from people. It's also helpful because sometimes this is a stressful situation and your brain will kind of shut down on the creative part of that functions in your brain when you get really stressed. So it's helpful to, again, if you're going to prep food or snacks or things like that, prep a craft, prep something. We got a lot of kids in our family, and I am always one who, if we're at somebody else's house, or even if I'm hosting a holiday meal, we have a game and an activity and craft involved to really kind of get that creativity piece engaged in your brain. It helps with that cortisol response. It really, really does. It also gives people the opportunity of like, oh, hey, if you want to go in the other room and do your little craft, things like we've done shrinky dinks, right? Everybody loves to color on shrinky dinks and things like that. Watch them melt in the toaster oven. Super fun, super easy. Everybody loves it, right? And it's something that you can keep doing, right? And then the kids get stuff to take home. But I always encourage parents to participate as well. This is something that's fantastic to really, really smooth out your system. Besides getting alone time, besides doing activities. And then the last thing I'm going to mention here is make sure you're getting enough adaptogens in. Adaptogens that help support your adrenals and that help you regulate your cortisol response. Especially if you are trying to set boundaries or you're doing things differently this year than you've done previously, and you're really trying to honor yourself in certain things, you can still feel a certain kind of way, which is fine. As you work through those feelings, support your system with some adaptogens to help mitigate that cortisol response. And super fun, for Black Friday, we are running a very special sale. We're doing our amazing Black Friday sale where you will enter BF sale. You get 15% off the tinctures, right? And free shipping. So there's that. But also we're doing $100 off a Dutch test. And we are also including a Jumpstart bundle, which is the estro balance, progesterone balance, and adrenal balance in with when you purchase a Dutch test, which you still get $100 off. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I always stock up on these tinctures this time of year, fantastic. You can still do that, 15% off and free shipping. Amazing. But then if you're like, yeah, I've been waiting on a Dutch test, get a Dutch test, get $100 off, and get that Jumpstart bundle of the tinctures right away. This is the best deal we've ever run. So I'm really excited about this for people. So that's what I got for you guys today for looking at just some helpful tips around the holidays. Again, it is a temporary thing. It's not going to ruin everything if you get off track. It's not going to just be the worst thing ever, right? Do the best you can and always think about the outcome afterwards. And no matter what happens, you can get right back on track. The most important thing is that you're able to enjoy the time with your loved ones during the holidays and not feel guilty about, oh, I had 2 pieces of pie. Okay, right? As long as your stomach is settled at night, that's fantastic. So that's what I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you need anything else. Otherwise, go in the links, get these amazing deals, and then I will see you guys later.